So today I just wanted to take a look at the 2016 film, The Accidental Exorcist, and honestly, just judging by the cover of the movie, it totally looks like something I would watch. I definitely love cheesy films, especially B films, and honestly, the film turned out to be a lot better than I expected. I put off watching this for the longest time because I kind of thought maybe I might be disappointed in it, and honestly, it's one of those films that it's not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. If you have a very particular type of humor, or say if you don't mind just very gross out type things, then you probably might actually enjoy the film. The movie has some very off the wall dialogue which just had me giggling here and there, which at points just really had me wondering, was this supposed to be a comedy or a black comedy, or is it just like a straight horror? Because the film plays straight, but the dialogue is just so out there. It's just hilarious at times, but definitely very enjoyable, very fun watch. So this film was directed by Daniel Faletsky. He also happens to be the lead actor as well as a co-writer. So the film itself has a very gritty, very dingy look. He plays an alcoholic who has fallen into the line of exorcism. And a lot of the time throughout the film, he has these very dark bags under his eyes. His skin looks very dirty, very oily. He lives in very seedy living conditions. So he's definitely not a glamorized character at all. And very much I get the impression that he became an alcoholic as a means of dealing with his exorcism duties. Apparently he has somebody who calls in every so often, gives him an address, and he shows up to a place and does the thing. So the film opens up with him coming to a young girl's home. He asks the mother to leave, and this is a reoccurring thing throughout the entire film. He asks people to leave. People always ask why, and he's like, it's personal, it's none of your business. You know, and for the most part people are like, yeah, sure, okay, bye. But I don't know, it's just weird explanation for it, I suppose, but even that in itself is just somewhat amusing to me. But you have this girl who is laying, or she's kind of bent over a table, she's laying face down, I guess you could say, and she's just groaning constantly. So he takes note of a picture of a horse in her bedroom, and he starts talking about horses, and it's just random total BS type stuff, like how is this even relevant? But I don't know, for me, one of the more funnier lines in this scene was where he starts talking about how he liked a horse. I think he said he would ride a horse or visit a horse, but the horse had a face like Robert Redford, if Robert Redford were a horse, and to me that was just very WTF. But you know, it's just dialogue like that and various other things in the film that just really keeps me entertained, basically, which is the purpose of a film. You know, it's realistic writing. It's not hard or stiff dialogue. It's not forced. The acting is good. The only thing is there are portions of the film that are just very dark. They're somewhat difficult to see. The film does lack color correction, but it's an independent film. It's a B film, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, they actually did extremely well for what they were working with. So you have this preacher guy, and he's doing his exorcisms. Apparently, just by doing his random babble, these demons react and they come to. All he basically has to do is just touch their forehead and they are exorcised. He doesn't have to go through any of the Bible passages or, you know, any of the tired stuff that we've seen in films over the ages. But, you know, I guess you could say he's more of a natural or a gifted exorcist rather than someone who went to Vatican, who studied X amount of years, blah, 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 so on and so forth. But very much as the title suggests, he just fell into this line of work. So we go through a series of these exorcisms, and to me what's so hilarious is that I guess it's just from exhaustion. Each time he passes out, he's just randomly dumped in some area, just out in a park, out in the snow, it doesn't really matter, but he's just always just discarded like nothing, kind of like, well, we're through with you, get out. But at the very least, you know, he's kind of left with a nice little plant, I guess, as a thank you gift. But I think it's just funny the fact that people just discard him like that. But yes, the exorcisms themselves, you do have this. It's not the classy cinema style pea soup. You're looking at very gross, chunky barf that is coming out of these possessed people. So, like I said, if you're not easily grossed out, or if that type of stuff doesn't bother you, then I would say definitely go for watching this film. It's definitely amusing, and of course, as I've said, you go through these various exorcisms. They're all slightly different, but it can become a bit repetitive, maybe a little bit tiring at some point if if you're just not really into possession or exorcism type movies. You might get a little bit bored with it, but the film keeps a decent pace. It really doesn't slow down or lag too much. Towards the ending, we do get somewhat of an interesting twist as to how this guy came into this whole line of work. I really won't spoil that for you if you do plan on taking a look at this film, but I definitely found it amusing, and as I've said, I cannot stress enough, this film is not for everybody. So even though I enjoyed it, you might take a look at it and feel entirely different, but we're all entitled to like what we like. But that is all I have for you guys today, and I will talk to you later.